Well...
Oh Lord.
So now, folks, this is program number 933, and it's time for your lesson from the Glendora Happy book. And here you are, step 3. Now, in your retreat, write down everything you desire that you don't have. Don't be afraid to put down the most difficult desires you want. Write these down in any order. Maybe your hair is getting too thin and you want fat hair. Or, if it is so, then put that on your list. Maybe you can get some vitamin E and that will help you grow some hair. Then on your income tax you will have to declare that as a capital gain. Or maybe you want to take up skiing because you decided to let things slide. Now, next, include also the personality characteristics that you would like to have. That is the type of person that you would like to be. And those that you don't want, those personality characteristics that you don't want, those you'd like to eliminate. Next, arrange these desires in the order you want to accomplish them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. Of course, there can't be evil. Nothing in these can be evil. They can't hurt anybody because you're going to be a good person. You're going to wish everybody the best, and everybody is going to wish you the best. And you're going to get the best. Now, draw up a schedule when you think you can attain these desires. Today, tomorrow, this week, this month, this year, this decade, this century. Just because the life expectancy is increasing, don't drag out these goals too long. Or is the life expectancy decreasing for you because you expect less and less out of life? Now, don't show any of these that you write down to anybody. Don't let anybody see them. They are your secrets. They are extremely confidential. Don't let anybody know. Try to keep them from the CIA. This is classified information. Now that you have the desires numbered in order of how you will accomplish each one, think about number 1. And let's hope that number 1 is an easy one. Now, if it isn't, why don't you go back and make number 1 an easier one? This is think and think and think about number 1 for a long time. List the steps that are necessary to accomplish it. List the requirements to achieve it. What information do you need? Do you have to read a book on it? Do you have to go to the library and see or go through a trade journal or talk to somebody experienced about it? Remember, if information or direction or advice is required, write down what the topic is, what you want to know about it, and take it to a reference librarian, not a library clerk, a librarian, and ask her to show you the information you want. I never wanted to know anything that a reference librarian couldn't point me in the right direction. Don't forget to say please and thank you, and walk, don't run. As you go through today and tomorrow, when you find yourself thinking about something negative or ugly or trivial, stop the thought instantly. That's instead of think of desire number 1 that you are going to accomplish, what you have to do and how you will go about it. Or think about all the good things you have. That was step 2, remember that? And give yourself a plus mark for reversing your thought. You've done a good thing here. Watch your plus marks increase each day. Don't think about anything that upsets you. Instead, think about what is in this book and in your notes. For instance, don't sit there thinking how you paid $1.98 for 2 pounds of potting soil and how angry you got because potting soil is not dirt cheap. If riding on the bus or subway or waiting to be assigned a seat on the airplane, don't sit there like a subhuman. Get out your notes and this book and read them. Exchange this thought for concentration, energy. It's carrying this little book with you everywhere, and a little 3x5 notebook in case you think of something you want to think about on your retreat. So you carry this book, the Glendora Happy book, And then you carry your little 3x5 notebook with you everywhere you go, and of course a pencil. Now remember that you learned long ago about life. For every advantage there's a disadvantage. As an example, getting all those Social Security checks when you retire is a peachy advantage. Peachy, right? The disadvantage is that you have to tell people how old you are. And that ends step number 3 on the Glendora Happy book. Well, boys and girls, here you are back in Manhattan, and you're at the Daily News building where WPIX is, and you're on the 10th floor, and this is Mr. Brad Holbrook, who is the anchor for WPIX TV News. Brad, you do a news at what time? What are they?
We do one at 7:30 p.m. We do one at 9:30 that you don't see in New York.
Oh, is that so?
It goes across the country to
Really?
about 115 different stations across the country.
Wow.
It's called USA Tonight. It's a network news show, just national news and national international news. And then we have another locally broadcast newscast at 10 now.
10?
So there's 3 half hours that I do every day, Monday through Friday.
Isn't it wonderful when you're
Yeah.
so busy? Aren't you good to see us? 115 stations is no small number.
No, and a couple of them, like WGN in Chicago and
Yeah.
WPIX here in New York, are seen on cable systems throughout the
Yeah.
country. So
They're super stations.
right.
Yeah.
So we're everywhere. You can't get away from us.
I think
Today, so I'm involved in writing for each of those newscasts,
Wow.
editing the scripts that are written by other people, and looking over them and helping to unify the product into a singular voice, because that's essentially what we're doing here, is running our resources through one channel, one anchor person, one show, and so it all has to have some semblance one to the next. So
Hey there, boys and girls. This is Donal Dixon, and he's the president of Howard Marlboro Sports. And Don, won't you just tell the boys and girls what Howard Marlboro Sports is?
No problem. Howard Marlboro Sports is a rather interesting company. What we try and do is help companies use sports to sell their products.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Like, for instance, could you give me an example?
Sure. For example, I think everybody knows about Maxwell House Coffee. I'm
That's
sure
right.
your mom and dad, drink it regularly. And what we do is we got them involved to become a sponsor of America's Olympic team.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Hey,
it was
that's
absolutely,
keen.
it was really great.
Yeah.
And becoming a sponsor, we got them to become a proponent of a particular award.
Oh?
And that particular award recognized American athletes which gave the most American spirit during the Olympic Games.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Yeah, it was really, really nice.
And they help you out with dollars, right?
They sure do. They
Yeah.
gave over $1 million to the United States Olympic Committee.
I see.
And then they used the association to help sell their products by using contests and sweepstakes. And they take a lot of
Wow.
people to the Olympic Games to
Yeah.
entertain them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This sounds like fun. Wouldn't you like to be one of those people they take to the Olympic Games? Are you associated with the Olympic Games in any way?
Yes, yes. We represent the 1992 Olympic Games.
Yes.
To help them find corporate sponsors around the world.
Wow.
And we also help the United States Olympic Committee find corporate sponsors so our America's Olympic team compete really well and be effective in Seoul.
And it's going to be in Madrid, right?
Yeah, well, the Barcelona is where the games are going to be in 1992.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. You should try and get into an allied field, like I said, like advertising or journalism, and then from that base you can get into, you can specialize and get into the sports marketing
Yes, it
field.
is sort of specialized, right?
There's no question.
Is it an open field? Will it continue to grow? Will there be employment in it?
Yeah, the growth is tremendous. We're the fastest growing division of Saatchi's worldwide.
Huh.
Our profits are very, very good. It's a very profitable business, and I think that the industry is going to double within the next 5 to 10 years.
Whoopee.
Easily. Yeah, so there's plenty of room for everybody.
You have to know a lot about sports, don't you?
Well, it doesn't hurt. I think you
Yeah.
have to be conversant is really what you have to do. You have to know a little bit about everything. You shouldn't specialize in any one particular sport.
A fellow named Bob asked this girl what kind of sports she liked the best, and she said, the kind who spend their money and go home early.
Unfortunately, that's not me. You know?
Anything else to tell the children, Don Dixon?
Well, I think the real emphasis is on hard work.
Hard work?
Yeah, I spent, I got to be at least 6 to 7 years working 7 days a week, 10, 12 hours a day in order to really get where you have to get.
Wow. Hi there, everybody. This is your 4th lesson from the Glendora Happy book. Step 4. In your retreat today, write down all your good points. Make a list of all your good points. Here is an example. You have a nice figure, you have wavy hair, you have a nice smile, you're friendly, you have good taste, you're well-mannered, you're well-groomed, etc. Now, next make a list of all your bad points. Here is an example. You procrastinate, you're disorganized, you talk too much, you waste time, you're lazy, etc. Be merciless when you list your bad points. Your relatives always are. Now let's hope you aren't as bad as I was when I started. When I started, I had 2 pages of bad points and 1 centimeter of good points. Under your bad points include all of your bad habits. You eat too much, you smoke, drink, etc. A bad habit is anything, folks, that hurts you, that keeps you from being 100% happy, strong, resourceful, successful, anything you are doing that you want to stop doing, anything that hurts others, and anything that is lower than your standards, anything that keeps you from being the great person you'd like to be, and anything that keeps you from getting what you want in life and want to accomplish. Take one of your bad points and start today to correct it. Pick one of the easiest ones for you to correct. Break it today. Put it on your score sheet and see how many minus marks and how many plus marks you get today. See if you win the day or lose it. More plus marks than minus. Work on it a week and see if you can't get rid of it. Usually if you can go 3 whole days without doing a bad habit, you have eliminated it. If you can get up your strength to go 3 whole days consecutively without doing it, then you have mastered it, usually. The first step in breaking a bad habit is to sit down in your retreat and think hard about it. Ask yourself, which do I want? A life with that bad habit or a life without that bad habit? List the reasons why it's important to you to be without that bad habit. You can go on like that, breaking a bad habit each week. Each week you can break 1 bad habit, then pretty soon you won't have any bad habits. You won't even recognize yourself anymore. Then you'll be so pleased with yourself because you mastered your bad habits, and you will be so confident, and then people will start liking you so much more. You'll like you so much more. You'll be stronger. You will be more in control. You'll start getting more of what you want in life. You will have less of what you don't want in life, and there will be fewer and fewer obstacles